Karma means you cannot escape your sins. No matter how fast or far you may run, they'll always catch up to you.
Don't ever make that mistake again, son.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Mark Dark, and I'm back with another video. If you're new, if you love power, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video and leave your theories, comments, everything down below. Now today we're going to be talking about Power Book 2 Ghost Season 2 Episode 5, the mid-season finale. This is the recap. And I'm going to try my best to focus on all the key points in this episode. If I miss anything, you guys let me know down below. And as I told y'all, my quick thoughts, early impressions video, they definitely knew how to end off this mid-season finale, man. Now we got 2 more weeks to see the results of what's going to happen to your boy Tariq down the line. Of course, it's a how the family Lorenzo is back. A lot of different things happen in this episode, man, and we're going to talk about it. Your boy Ghost left Tariq a note letting him know he always knew he was going to end up where he is at, right where he belongs. So what do y'all think about that? I know a lot of fans had different opinions on that. Some say Ghost would have never done that. Some say Ghost would have done that. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the no one can stop me Ghost, that Ghost, I can see him actually doing this. Now, different versions of Ghost that we saw from the original Power all the way up to about, I would say, season 5. I mean, I can see him not doing it, but that no one can stop me Ghost, that dude was on one. He wasn't playing around. It's like he hit a switch. That Ghost would definitely have did it. But regardless if he would have did it or not, it was very interesting seeing that put into this show. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I really wanted to hear Ghost's voice over. If Omari would have came in and just did that small little part, I'm telling you right now, that would have meant a whole lot to the Power fans, man. They would have loved that. I would have loved to just hear his voice, you know, read Tariq that little note. It would have been epic in my opinion, but it is what it is, man. So let's just go over this recap. What did we see in episode 5, the mid-season finale? Now, the episode starts off with your boy Zeke. He's about to turn himself in. Of course, Monet is trying to tell him, don't worry about it. Everything is going to be good. Davis McLean is telling him once he gets inside, stick to himself, just blend in. Pretty much, don't tell anybody nothing. Don't tell them nothing. I knew right along that Zeke was not about to get locked up. You can just feel it. You knew something was going to happen. And as I always told you guys, you know, once we get halfway through this season, there's going to hit that switch and all the pressure eventually was going to be taken off your boy Zeke. Now, Tariq, he has a very, very busy day. We know he has to make sure he gets everything in order to get his sister back. And this is what we see him doing throughout the whole episode. He has to storm out. Your girl Lauren, she is trying to talk to him. Right before she comes out, she makes sure she puts that rollie up. Remember, Lauren, she is not trying to, you know, frame or do anything bad to Tariq. She doesn't even know that he's a part of all this stuff. And remember, I read you guys the full description of this episode last night. And remember that Lauren, she is actually trying to help him out. But why she is trying to do this, that's how she makes the mistake of giving up information on Tariq. We know Professor Milgram used that eagerness for Lauren trying to help out Tariq against her. And she did not know the full details of the investigation. Very smart move by Professor Milgram. Remember, she was a former prosecutor. She knows this game. So, of course, she used one of her OG strategies. Now we get to your boy Zeke, Jenny Sullivan, of course, Davis McLean, and your boy Detective Kevin Whitman and Kamal. Now, they're pretty much telling Zeke that he's good, that they don't need to bring him in anymore. They have some new information. Of course, Kamal, he is trying to tell them that he's no longer a suspect. Detective Kevin Whitman, he ain't trying to give nothing up. He's pretty much still believing. He's still believing that Zeke has something to do with this because he's so eager to try to get Professor Milgram caught up in all this. Now, your girl Monet is telling Zeke everything is going to be good. You know, you're a free man and that once all this information comes out, you will still be good as far as the whole draft. But Zeke, you know, he's still stressed out. He's like, man, I done did all this stuff. That interview pretty much messed me up. But at the end of the day, you do have a second chance. So this time around, hopefully you don't make those same mistakes and listen to everybody else that's trying to use you. Now, Kamal, he is telling Detective Kevin Whitman that he is doing his job and that he has information on Tariq, and he pretty much told him information about the novel that Professor Jabari Reynolds was writing and that he thinks it's about Tariq. Of course, Whitman, he is not trying to hear this. He wants to continue to connect Zeke in this whole fantasy of it being involved with Professor Milgram. Kamal had to let him know and put him in his place. Like, dude, Zeke is not the only person of interest. We need to be putting a little bit more focus on Tariq. We know that his father had many rumors about him being in the game and doing all types of grimy stuff. So maybe we should be looking that way instead. Now, your boy Tariq, he is letting Brayden know if any of the Tejadas come looking for him or asking any questions about him, he don't know nothing. Don't tell them anything at all. Of course, he asked Brayden, has Kane been around here? And Brayden was like, nah, he hasn't. We know that Kane has been around. He's been snooping around looking for Tariq for a little bit, right? Now, we know Tariq has to look out for himself. We know Monet eventually is going to have that conversation with him. We see Tariq putting that money in that bag. Of course, he's putting his trap in there. And he knows the conversation is going to come eventually. Now, Monet, she is having a conversation with Professor Milgram. And she's telling her, look, whatever you've been doing, you might as well just stop. I don't need you anymore. Matter of fact, stay away from my son, for real. She's not going to say son, but stay away from Zeke. Now, do you guys honestly believe that Professor Milgram is going to listen to Monet? She's not. As I told you before the season even aired, she's going to take this personal, this whole Professor Jabari Reynolds thing, and she's not going to stop at all. She's just going to cause more problems down the line. Now, of course, Professor Milgram, she is having a conversation with Kamal and Detective Kevin Whitman. They're telling her they want her to read this novel and that it can lead to some details about what really happened to Professor Jabari Reynolds. And this is one of the fan theories. Everybody was saying that once she reads that novel, she is automatically going to know the truth. And that was the case in this episode. I mean, everything came true. She read that novel and she automatically knew, like, okay, Tariq has something to do with this, and she took it out on him in class. Now we get to your boy Mecca, and he's like, look, Monet, I have another exit strategy for you. How about I take care of you and all your kids in Zeke? He has this like trust fund agreement, contract or whatever. He is trying to change Monet's life. He wants her to sign this paper. Of course, Monet is like, I don't know about this. Mecca's like, look, you can start over. Stress-free life. You ain't got to worry about continuing to struggle, to, of course, to do all these different things to get money. Look, I got you. And he pretty much tells her, I am not leaving New York until you come with me. Now Monet has to make a decision. She knows deep down inside, she doesn't really want to do this right now, especially dealing with Mecca and the things that he is doing. She does not fully trust him, and she knows that this is just a fantasy, as she told him. At the end of the day, we know this is not going to end well, but as of right now, Monet, she wants to believe that it could be a possibility. And as this episode airs out, Monet is actually starting to believe that this could actually work based on all the information that she got with her family, all this drama and mess. She actually just wants to start fresh. Now we get to class, man. We talked about this scene throughout last week. Karma was the topic of discussion. Your girl, Professor Milgram, was not playing around. She put all the pressure on Tariq. She done read the novel. She know what's up. She's like, look, karma gonna come back regardless. Your sins, the things that you have done, they gonna come back and get you. You cannot run from it. You cannot escape. Of course, Tariq gave his little information about what he thinks about it, but Professor Milgram, she wanted more information, and she was tired of all the classmates giving their feedback. She wanted to know exactly how Tariq was feeling, and she made sure he knew how she was feeling about him. Now, as Tariq and Lauren leaves class, he sees Monet. Now remember, Lauren is supposed to be helping out Tariq as far as getting this whole apartment thing, but now he has to leave because Monet is about to have that conversation. As I told you guys, we knew eventually this was going to happen. Monet is pretty much telling him, why did you lie? Like I told you from day one, that is something that you don't do. Now she's going to give Tariq a second chance. She says, look, I tell you what, I will erase all of this if you can tell me who Kane's connect is. So Monet's whole game plan is to use both Kane and Tariq in her own advantage. And the sad part is she's using these two people against each other. And of course, we know Kane, he's able to get information on Tariq as far as the cell phone and Yasmin. And Tariq, he tried to get information on Kane and the Connect. He was able to get an address and a name, but Monet lets him know that she is in control and that she is not playing around. I mean, at the end of the day, Tariq only has so many options, and seeing that he needs to get this money, he needs to continue to do whatever he has to do to survive, he doesn't really have a choice right now. Now, Professor Mirgum, she lets Detective Kevin Whitman and Kamal Tate know that this is about Tariq. This novel is about Tariq. I can tell. I mean, it's plain and simple to me. Now, Detective Kevin Whitman, even after hearing this, he still does not want to believe that it has anything to do with Tariq. He is talking about, man, I know this has something to do with Zeke. I don't believe it. And of course, Braden is mentioned. Of course, they're like, look, Braden could be a part of this, but it still doesn't make sense to me, right? So they end up saying if they can get some information about Tariq or Braden knowing about Professor Jabari Reynolds' book, then maybe they can take the next step. And we already know that they're going to use Lauren and they're going to give her an advanced wire. This time they can listen to her while she's out there having conversations with people. And you can tell Lauren didn't really want to do this, but Professor Mirgrum, she has used an excellent strategy, pretty much telling her, look, if you go in there and you do this, we can get information on Braden. The cops think it's Braden. She's not telling her the full details that really Tariq is the person of interest for real. And Lauren, knowing this, she's like, okay, I will definitely do this to protect Tariq. Professor Mirgrum, like I told you guys, very smart. Pretty much just telling Lauren, well, yeah, if you do this, you ain't got nothing to worry about. I mean, Braden, he will be taken away, and you and Tariq, y'all can go ahead and live y'all lives. Y'all ain't got to worry anymore about this drama. Man, that girl straight up cold with it, right? Now, your boy Kane, he goes to have a conversation with Monet, and this time it's about Tariq. She wants to test Kane and Tariq, to be honest with you guys, and she wants Kane to find Tariq's weak spot, which we already know it is his family, it is Yasmin, and she's pretty much telling him Tariq is too comfortable. This is why he lied to me, and this is one of the reasons why he's going to continue to do that if we don't find his weak spot. At the end of the day, Kane is too comfortable as well. This is the reason why this all actually happened. We know that Tariq was the person that actually wanted to tell Monet the truth about Professor Jabari Reynolds, but it was Kane who came up with the idea to lie to her in the first place. So at the end of the day, Monet definitely needs to make sure she keeps Kane in check, because if not, he's going to continue to do the things that he's been doing thus far. Now, Lauren pops up on Braden and Kane, and she pretty much wants some information. We know she got the wire on her, and Kane decides to tell her some information about himself. Of course, Kane, he is doing exactly what you guys said. Y'all said that he was going to try to talk to Lauren, trying to get some information out of her. He's trying to spit game. He wants her number. You know, Lauren ain't about that. She's like, nah, I am good. She wants to know where Tariq is at. This dude, Kane, is pretty much telling her, look, hey, my name is Lorenzo. And the people out there that continue to say that Kane is Mecca's son is just not true. Kane is a junior. I've stated this time and time again. Courtney Kemp, she already explained this earlier on in the year, but that's Lorenzo's son. Now, Lauren is able to get this information all on the wire, so now they're going to know where to look. They're going to be like, okay, he is Lorenzo Tejada Jr., and now we can take this information, we can run his name, and we can try to connect this to everything that's been going on this campus. Now, Mecca, he is telling Kane, like, look, it's whether you or Tariq. It's quite obvious what Monet is doing, and she's going to choose. You better make sure she makes the right decision. So Mecca is trying to stir things up. He is trying to get Kane to do whatever it takes to take out Tariq at all costs. Now Kane is like, okay, you're right. I got to make sure I put this dude away for good. Now we get to your boy Zeke, Ev, and Drew. And your boy Zeke, he done changed his hair up, and he's talking about, how did y'all meet? We know that Drew ends up lying. I mean, what do you want Drew to do? You want him to tell him the truth? This is what he told Ev, because Ev is kind of pissed, like, man, why you gotta lie? Why you can't tell him the truth? Well, Drew ain't going about to, he's not about to do that. That's something that he's not about to do. I'm going to tell you right now, Ev, you might as well just cut your losses, because I don't see this storyline ending well for somebody. It may be another body popping up at Stansfield eventually. Now, we get to your boy Tariq. He is trying to get some, of course, help from Diana. He needs to get product because Monet has shut down Course Correct because of all the drama, and he needs Diana to go behind her back to do this. And of course, she is talking about, well, if I help you out, you have to help me out. They both don't trust Kane, for one. We know Kane cannot be trusted. Diana is talking about how she believes that Kane switched the product for sugar and that she wants Tariq to watch him, and how all this information about the murder weapon popping up at the same crime scene as Professor Jabari Reynolds doesn't make sense at all. So she's pretty much just going to agree to help him out. And of course, we know Tariq does need this money to help get his sister back. We know he has all these different fees from court, lawyers, and he's going to need the money. Now, if Tariq is able to find information about Kane, he will let Diana know down the line. And Diana, she's very smart. She's very smart. And Monet and everybody else is starting to realize just how smart she is. She goes to Kane, lets him know, look, she needs, some help. Tariq needs product. He needs to help his sister out. But Kane does not want to do this at all. But once Diana tells him, well, if he doesn't do it, she will just let Monet know that he switched out the product for sugar. And of course, Kane is like, how did you even know that? You don't know that is true. Well, Diana's like, well, I'll tell you what, we'll let Monet make that decision on if you're lying or not. She's not stupid. So now Kane has to, of course, help out Tariq, and the mastermind behind all of this is your girl Diana, man. Very smart this season. Now, the police have information on your boy Kane, a.k.a. Lorenzo Tejada Jr., and they know he has a rap sheet. And their plan is to connect him to all of this, these events that's happening on campus. Detective Kevin Whitman, he wants to connect this to Zeke, talking about Zeke probably got his cousin to do the dirty work. I mean, this dude does not make any sense at all sometimes. Of course, he continues to run his own game plan, but we know it's just not going to work out. Now, Monet, she goes and have a conversation with Lorenzo. They end up talking about Zeke and how everything played out quite well. And then Lorenzo gets a call from your boy Cooper Sacks. He tells Monet he has to take this call, and Monet is like, really? Like, okay. So she leaves. Lorenzo hops back on that phone, and he's like, look, I'll tell you exactly what you want to know. You know what I'm saying? I'll pull a Zeke out. I'll let you know everything. Now Lorenzo was plotting and planning. We know that his time has come. The fans they've been waiting. I've been waiting. We knew eventually that this dude was going to get out eventually. Then we get to your girl, Jenny Sullivan. And as I told you, your boy, Detective Kevin Whitman, he is trying to connect all of this to Zeke no matter what. And she is telling him she is going to need a little bit more info in order for her to connect all of this to your boy, Zeke. Then your boy, Cooper Sacks, he pops up and he is watching. He sees Detective Kevin Whitman, and I got a feeling this is happening for a reason. It will be some type of connection between Cooper Sacks and Detective Kevin Whitman. I wouldn't be surprised if Cooper Sacks does something, but I can just tell the way that Cooper Sacks was looking, like, man, like, dude, a weirdo. I'm definitely going to find something on him. I cannot wait to see how that all plays out. Now, Kane, he meets up with Braden to get the product instead of Tariq. He is pissed off. He's talking about, man, I thought Tariq was supposed to be here. Of course, Braden is like, look, I'm doing what I got to do. We are partners. Of course, Kane is like, man, this don't make any sense at all. But Braden is like, well, you're getting your money, plain and simple. So let's just keep it moving. Meanwhile, your boy Tariq is in the cut, watching, planning to follow Kane. And I'm looking like, man, when I saw the preview trailers, I'm like, okay, Tariq is going to be pulling his ghost moves. He's going to be able to watch people, and they're not going to be able to see him. And then we finally get to see your boy Tariq whip a car in this installment of Power. And Lauren has allowed him to drive her BMW. Of course, Kane, he does not know this vehicle. And Tariq, when it first started out, he was doing what he needed to do. He was getting information. He was taking pictures. Kane didn't even know Tariq was following him. But Tariq ain't Ghost. Ghost would have been able to execute this game plan and not be seen. Your boy Nuff pops up out of nowhere, throws Tariq on the wall, tells him, look, who are you? Starts beating him down. Then we get to Kane and the chef. And the chef, he's like, man, did this dude follow you? You know what I'm saying? Something's up. Do you know him? Of course, Kane is like, nah, I don't know this dude. I ain't never seen him ever. The chef's smart. This chef is very, very smart. He's not falling for any of this. But of course, if Kane says this is true, so be it. As we can see on the camera, Tariq is getting choked out. Look at him getting beat down. I'm looking like, man, boy. Eventually, Tariq is going to have to learn how to defend himself. We know last season, Bars, he was chasing Tariq around, about to end him. 2-Bit saved him, and the chef stopped Nuff from ending Tariq as well. Tariq is all beat up and bloody. Him and Diana are going into the house. He sees Drew and Ev. So now Tariq knows that Ev and Drew are still hanging around. And then we get to your boy Mecca. He is questioning Kane about who followed him. And let's just be honest. Nuff, he kept it real. Nuff is, a hothead at times, but he definitely kept it real. He told Mecca that it's probably that somebody that Kane knew, that he probably followed Kane around. And the chef mentioned this earlier on. So Mecca is like, well, you didn't 100% know it was one of Mahoney's dudes. So why did you even put your hands on him? We cannot have any civilian complaints. And once Kane told him, like, look, I don't know who it is. Now, my problem about this whole scene was Nuff gave Mecca the phone. He said, look, I got his phone. And Nuff still got taken out, right? He got taken out. Now, my thing is this. How about you just search the phone? I mean, with all the resources that Mecca has, he could have easily got in that phone. Let's just be honest. He could have got into that phone and found out exactly who they were dealing with. But in this situation, he actually took Kane's word. And Kane took the phone. And it was no questions asked about that at all. I just feel like, they should have probably dove a little bit more deeper into that. But it probably was a way to get rid of Nuff. But I just, in my personal opinion, I really felt like if it was anybody else, like, for example, if it was like Ghost, ain't no way Ghost would have just took out Nuff. He would have found out what was on that phone. He wants to know who this person was working with, especially if it's any indication that that person could be a threat, whether you by yourself or not. He would never have took that risk. He would have found out what was on that phone. But Kane definitely got off on that one, in my opinion. But you guys let me know, man. What do you think about that whole scene between Nuff, Mecca, the chef? Do y'all believe that the whole cell phone thing kind of got brushed off? In Mecca, he really just took Kane's word, and that was it. And to be honest, it really did sound like Mecca wanted to get rid of Nuff anyway. Like, it was no big deal at all. Now, Davis McLean, he goes to see his brother, and we already know he wants to get him out. He wants to get him out, and he's telling him he has Cooper Sacks on his side, and they're going to figure a way to, be able to get him out. Of course, he is telling him, like, look, you sure you want to do this? Because if we even get into the process, I may have to let them know certain details about what went on. And of course, Theo is like, look, man, I'm willing to do whatever I got to do to make sure you don't end up in here. And we know that Davis McLean tells him, well, I'm doing everything to get you out. So at the end of the day, having Cooper Sacks on his team will definitely prove great things for Davis McLean's brother. And I see him getting released, especially if he was able to get Lorenzo out. You already know he's going to have a high chance of getting Theo out as well. Now, Tariq, he is rushing for time. He ends up missing the whole apartment lease signing or whatever. And now he is screwed up. But Lauren has helped him out. Lauren is like, look, I'm going to let you live in my brother's apartment because he's not well right now. He's not here. He's in and out of a halfway house. So you can use the apartment as of right now. And Lauren, as I told you, she's actually wanting to help out Tariq. Now, Lauren does mention things about Professor Jabari Reynolds' book, but she is trying to target Brayden. She is believing that Brayden is the problem and that Brayden seemed very happy about Professor Jabari Reynolds when he passed or whatever. But Tariq is like, man, Brayden doesn't even know anything about Professor Jabari Reynolds. I am the one that told him about Professor Jabari Reynolds, and that book is not about Brayden. He's not about to write about him. He will more likely write about a black person. So now they have the proof that Tariq knew about the book. This is something that they wanted to get earlier on in the episode. They said they had to get a connection. So this whole game plan as far as the wire, it helps them out with their case. Now, Monet and your boy Kane had a very interesting conversation. Kane brings in the cell phone, tells her, you messed up. You sent Tariq to follow me to try to get the connect. That is a bad move. I mean, what are you doing? And Kane, he kept it real. He's like, look, am I your son or I'm a soldier? Like, which one is it? She tells Kane, you are both. But Kane is like, look, you talking about I am both, and it's always about family. But none of this does not make any sense because you are doing entirely too much. You're doing too much and you're putting everybody at risk. At the end of the day, Kane did have a point because Monet is using everybody. She's using everybody to get what she wants, and everything is out of her hands right now. She thinks she controls things, but she does not control a lot of things at all. And then we get to Monet and Tariq. Of course, Monet is telling him she controls everything and that he messed up by getting caught and that he's going to sit here and wait until he loses his sister, just like she almost lost Zeke. And once she was doing all this, I already knew Tariq was about to go off. And that's exactly what he did. He let her know the truth, that she does not control everything. He pretty much said, you know what, since you're going to come down on me, well, guess what? You need me. Your boy Kane, he replaced the product with sugar just to get your trust back. Your boy Drew out there getting clapped up by Ev, and Ev was the one that gave up the names to the authorities about the whole Zeke thing. And then on top of that, we got Diana. She's stealing money from you. So which one is it? At the end of the day, you need me. You talking about what you control. Monet couldn't do anything but just sit there. Tariq definitely put Monet in her place. And you only really see Tariq act like this when people try to, I would say, try to run over him. He doesn't allow that to happen. And like I said, being around his pops and all them and how he was raised up in the OG power, this is what he can do when his back is against the wall. So we're going to see down the line exactly if he's going to pull more of this out of him. Then we get to court. Of course, Tariq is a little bit late, and it doesn't seem like everything is going good for him at the very beginning. But like I told you guys, when his back is against the wall, he pulls the best out of him. Of course, Grandma Estelle, she doesn't really have any solid excuses as far as her actions. She was going through a whole lot of different things. So, of course, she was using money. She was drinking. She was not in the right state of mind. As she told the judge, she is trying to recover. Tariq is like, look, she's not in the best condition to do this. I will pay for her rehab. Time and time again, I have proven myself over and over again that I am the best fit for my sister. So now the judge is like, okay, I tell you what, I will give you temporary custody of your sister. So Tariq has done exactly what he has planned out to do, and everything is looking good for him as far as the whole Yasmin's thing. And we know he has not had the best episode, but he is trying his best to win. And of course, we knew that they was going to be doing a room search of Tariq and Brayden's room. As I told you guys in my prediction, this was Tariq's desk. As we see right here, the badge was in his desk. Kamal Tate is happy. He is happy. He's like, yes, we finally got something, and now we can go ahead and arrest Tariq. At the end of the day, Kamal Tate has done more than Detective Whitman has did all season long, and it didn't even take him that long to do this. Now, Monet, after having that conversation with Tariq and Kane, has decided to step down for real. She's like, man, I don't know what I want to do, but I do think I need to have a fresh start, that I probably need to just start over and get away from all of this. So all that stuff that Mecca was telling her at the very beginning of the episode all season long, now she's starting to believe this, and she's like, this start could actually be something great for me and my family. At the end of the day, we know this is not going to work out. Now, Yasmin, she is very happy. Tariq is telling her he needs a little bit of time and he's going to be able to get her to come to his new apartment and that everything is good. And for once, everything does seem like it's going well for Tariq. But we're talking about power. We know how it is. Everything can go well. Something is always bound to happen. Tariq went through so much in this episode. To finally be able to get that temporary custody of his sister was probably one of the greatest things that he could possibly do in this episode. And as he went back to campus, he's feeling good about himself. Then he sees all the commotion. And when they show Brayden gave him that look like, dude, you probably want to walk away. But you already knew it was too late. It was a little bit too late. And Tariq, he can't just walk away now because everybody sees him walking up. And Tariq already know what time it is. He's like, oh, man, I know something is about to happen. But Tariq doesn't know exactly all the details of what's going on. The police, they is always on this campus anyway because of what happened to Professor Jabari Reynolds. So he probably wasn't really thinking of anything major. But once Kamal Tate and the authorities walked up to him and arrested him, he knew what time it was. He was like, man, they done got me. So, of course, everything is on Tariq right now. How will he be able to defend himself and beat this? And did you guys notice that the song that was being played while Tariq was being arrested was the exact same song that they played when Ghost was being arrested in Power Season 3, Episode 10 by your girl, Angela. So they wanted to, give us those parallels once again. As you can see, Lauren, she is very upset because she did not know Tariq had anything to do with this. Remember, they pretty much told her if she is able to help them out, it's all to get Brayden. But once she saw the results of this, and once Professor Milgram told her, look, Tariq is getting exactly what he deserves, now she can't do nothing but just sit back and watch. And Professor Milgram, she helped out with all of this. Do you honestly believe that this is all going to play out the way that they all thinking it's going to play out? Rashad O'Dall Tate, he was looking, and for a brief moment, it almost looked like he was kind of smirking, like he had a smile on his face, like, yeah, this what you get. I don't know, man, but he was looking kind of funny when this happened. Now, this is the scene right here, this little pic. This is what they showed us in one of the trailers that they put out, and this is how I knew Tariq was going to jail. Of course, Tariq is just speechless. You can't really say anything. I mean, he's all busted up. He's been through so much this episode. What else can he actually do but reflect on his life and all the bad decisions that he has made? So this is exactly what he's going to be doing, in my opinion, in the next episode, trying to come up with a strategy and just trying to think about what he needs to do next. Now, Daniel Warren, he pops up. He lets Tariq know that his father has left a letter for him, Ghost. And he has told Tariq that he has hope that he will never have to give him this note. In Ghost, and in Ghost fashion, lets Tariq know, like, look, I knew you would end up in here right where you belong. So Ghost, he had planned and plotted all this out. He knew if Tariq would have committed a homicide, this was going to be what he has told him. As I told you, some people say Ghost would have never said this. I say it depends on what version of Ghost that y'all looking at. That no one can stop me Ghost, I can definitely see him doing this. Those versions of Ghost that we got before season 5, I mean, the outcome could have been a little bit different. But in that particular scene, I was really hoping that we can hear Amari's voice. That would have made that scene even more epic. But it still proves that the fans love Ghost and that he really made a huge impact when it comes to power. And even if he is dead, he still is letting Tariq know that you're not smarter than me. Now we get to your girl Monet. She has walked into her home and is looking like she has seen a ghost. Your boy, Lorenzo Tejada, he is home. This is the moment that a lot of Power fans have been waiting for. We knew eventually he was going to get out because we knew about this whole Tejada war for a while now, right? And y'all can feel the tension in the air. As I told you in my quick thoughts, early impressions, you can feel that tension, that this is the calm before the storm. And Monet, of course, she is taking credit for Lorenzo, talking about, this was why I was acting so weird. Of course, Diana, she was pissed off, like, really? Like, you didn't help get Lorenzo out. You didn't help get Daddy out. I did. I am the one that took that money. I am the one that got Davis McLean to Cooper Sacks and helped out with his freedom, not you. So now, Monet, she's going to have the family turning against her. We want to call it the New World Order. Who is going to side with Lorenzo? Who is going to side with Monet? At the end of the day, the Tejada war is coming, y'all. We got Mecca on the outskirts, and he's about to have a huge impact, especially once he figures out that Lorenzo is back home. And he's not going to be happy when he learns about the truth. And your girl Monet, she was looking very scary, like, man, I done messed up, and I don't know how to fix this. It's about to be a mess, y'all. It's about to be a mess because Lorenzo, you already know he gonna want to clap those cheeks on Mondays and Tuesdays. And your boy Mecca, he's definitely gonna clap those cheeks on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And hell, might as well clap him on the weekends as well. But at the end of the day, it's about to go down, man. Your boy Tariq, he is in jail. He's going to have to reflect on his life and what he needs to do next. We already know he's going to get out when it's all said and done. He has a great team. Cooper Sacks, Davis McLean, with the help of Rashad Tate in the back. This dude is set. They're not going to be able to pin all this on him, in my opinion. And when he does get out, the question is, what decisions is he going to make? Does he want to stay loyal to the Tejada family, or does he want to go his own route and do his own thing? Only time should tell. But thank you guys for supporting your boy. We done got through 5 episodes already. We got a 2-week break, and Power is going to be returning in 2 weeks on January 9th, 2022. It's going to go fast. We will continue to prepare everybody for the next upcoming episode. We're still going to go over those different fan theories, storylines, and just continue to talk about Power, and also get ready for Power Book 4 Force, which will be airing on February 6, 2022. But thank you guys once again for all the love, all the support. Enjoy your holidays. Stay safe. And I will catch y'all on the next one. But let me get up on out of here, man. It's your boy Mark Dark. I'm out. Peace.